you're all dealing for the most part in an arena where people are used to getting content free. And so there's a bit of a challenge. You're unlikely to be able to charge subscriptions to your users to come in. And so, how do you address that? What unique models are you using to bring revenue in? And I guess most importantly, the flip side of the coin is, how do you keep startup costs low? When the revenue model might be challenging. Do you want to take a shot at that, Ariel?
Of course. Cool. Well, I think that we do have a physical product, which is a book, so that's great. That's a revenue stream. And then online we have multiple revenue streams that I won't get into too much. But I think that the biggest things, in terms of what I was kind of saying in my presentation, is that you're not necessarily selling content, because I know as a kid I have a huge problem with paying for content online. But you're selling, I think, after a certain point, your community's trust, kind of. Like, you basically are online and you're finding these different editors of the web that you really trust, and you are following them. And then if they do partner with someone else, and if they lead you to another product, if they have kind of affiliate partnerships with other places, and they're saying, we know you really well and we trust you and we think that you would like this, and then you go through and you buy through them. I think that that is an interesting angle that we'll see more of, if that makes sense. Without going into too much detail about.
So the difference, I think, is that Quidget is not a site, it's an application. So how we'll generate revenue is that users will stay on publisher sites longer because they'll be engaged with other users, and publishers will pay us a portion of advertising proceeds. And we also have the market research tool because we can aggregate all the information that people use to communicate. The other thing, how Quidget can generate revenue is that it's cross-dialogue on different web platforms. So like, these guys can all use the same question about education, for example, and we can call all their information and sell it to universities who are looking for what are kids looking for before they go to college. What are they looking for when they, we can ask specific questions that people are interested in finding, and they can put it on all of their sites, and all of their users will be generated on all three of their sites. Are they looking for a study abroad program? Yes, no, or maybe. Why or why not? So we'll generate basically from the publishers, not anything from the users.
Just pass this along.
I keep forgetting to stand up. The great thing about the student demographic, in my opinion, there are a lot of great things, but two corollary ones or related ones are, one, they're an incredibly valuable demographic. Having data on them is, if you find out what the right relevant data is incredibly valuable. And two is that if you build a product that they really want, students already will do almost anything for almost nothing. And if you have something that they really believe in, they'll really do almost anything for almost nothing. So we have a lot of student interns that participate and contribute and help us because they believe in the product, because they love their study abroad experience, they're passionate about it, and they want to make it easier for other people. So that's both a way to keep costs down and a way to say, if you're thoughtful about the best ways to leverage the information that you're gathering on this demographic, there are lots of different revenue streams. For us, cost per action or lead generation is really exciting. I think that we're trying to be on the bleeding edge of combining a destination portal with a lead generation site. Traditional lead gen is a website where it's really just a landing page. They want you to fill out a form, and then they're going to go resell your lead multiple times. We're trying to take a different approach and build a trusted site that universities can really get behind and that students can really get behind, but that's still monetized on a cost per action basis. And I think as you see people going from CPM to CPC to CPA over time, there'll be more and more sites trying to do this type of thing. So it's worked for us.
Our revenue model is pretty simple. We cheat. We just charge institutions for an instance of our application. So it's pretty straightforward. What I would say about there's a kind of an ideology out in Silicon Valley now around like the lean startup and lean product development, and the idea of customer development instead of product development. And some of the kind of key lessons there are go through customer discovery before you start building anything. And as you're building it, stay in that customer discovery period. Stay interfacing with customers. Keep your product team engaged with those conversations with those customers, and figure out the problems that they have absolutely critical, like mission critical needs to solve. and make sure that your product actually genuinely solves them, and make sure they're willing to pay the price point that you need to charge in order to make money. And then once you have, you've gone through the process of customer development and customer validation, that's when you start spending money to like ramp up and start marketing and start any kind of sales efforts that you might have. And it's really important to stay basically focused on only your product development budget while you're going through the customer development and customer validation processes. So a lot of failed startups, hello? Oh. Whoa. A lot of failed startups fail because, that was magic, fail because they started spending money too soon and they run out of cash, right? Paul Graham, who's kind of a thought leader out in Silicon Valley, gave a presentation at Startup School, and he said the business model you're trying to achieve, and then he clicked to the next slide, and it was a giant picture of a cockroach, right? And he was like, you have to stay, you just don't die. Right? Like, just don't run out of cash and don't die. And if you don't die, eventually you will succeed. Another interesting article that I recently read was by Mark Andreessen, who is the founder of Netscape. And he said, you're trying to achieve product market fit. And you have to do that through this customer development and customer validation process. And like, do not spend any money until you achieve product market fit. And you'll know you achieve product market fit because as soon as you do it, people are going to be knocking on your door to like get what you have, right? So until they start knocking, don't start spending money doing anything else. Yeah.
I'd say a problem that a lot of people that have user-generated content sites is you can't charge for the content because then the users aren't going to come and create it anymore, because unless you're doing a revenue split with them, and even then, there's varying models of how effective that is. If you're charging for the content they're creating for free, you're going to lose that as a base. I think you just have to think really creatively and try as many things as possible and set up case studies and then see what works and what doesn't. So in our case, in some cases, we sell advertising and sponsorships to big brands. In some cases, we have 300 interns on campuses all over the country with video cameras. We have some brands that say, hey, we'd love to see what college students think about topic X, and they'll commission us to create certain amounts of content around certain topics. We do some lead generation where we say, hey, we know a lot about our users. They're telling us where African-American females from Georgia with an SAT score of X, we can help schools who are looking for African-American female students from Georgia with SAT score of X, find those students and better spend their dollars. Instead of sending someone out to Georgia to recruit, they can work with Unigo and we can help match them up with students that are right for them. And then there's a lot of just kind of free thinking. We work with universities in some cases. We have from the college, we have from our editors, we have from the students. In some cases, we work to help the universities promote themselves in clearly branded areas to tap into some of their marketing dollars that are flowing online more and more as brick and mortar universities kind of adopt the marketing techniques of online universities. And working with international universities too, who have different spending patterns and different needs to reach American audiences. So I think it's just trying as many things as you possibly can, but each one trying it with like a finite goal and a finite time frame and see what works and then go for that.
Okay, thank you. So I wanted to know if there's one takeaway you got out of this tonight. Michael said, if you hang in there long enough, you will succeed, which is similar to what Dr. Seuss said in The Places You'll Go, but he then hedged and said it's only 98.75% guaranteed. But Michael has updated that, and it's 100% guaranteed.
Don't quote me on that one.
So hang in there.